It's fall run season at the Jersey Shore, and it was finally time to take my first shot at it. I put boots to sand chasing that first striper of the season, but when the fall bite gets tough, there's always the trusty Tautog to keep a line tight. This is just one of those real fall days, when you grind it out, adjust on the fly, and make the most of whatever the water gives you.
I'm on my way to the beach right now, getting ready to get on some of this fall run action. So I've heard things have been kind of slow lately. This is actually gonna be my first time out for some striper this fall, but I'm hoping that maybe I'll get in on at least one fish. And in the afternoon, the winds are supposed to change a little bit. It might not be optimal for striper fishing. So if that's the case, I might end up switching to tog just to get on some action. So I'll meet you at the beach, got a little bit more ways to go, and I'm excited to get fishing. I got to the first spot that I was gonna fish today, and I got out, looked around, didn't seem like there was too much going on. Doesn't mean it's not fishable, doesn't mean there won't be fish there, but I'm kind of looking for some more activity, looking for some bait, looking for some birds. So I am gonna start to head south. I also kind of want to end the day more south, so we're gonna head down the coastline and see if we can find any action. And if so, I'll pop out, fish it. But if not, we'll just try some spots at random and hope for some fish. I drove down the coast and I really didn't see much action, so I finally just decided to pick a spot, get out, and get a line in the water. You could drive around all day, but eventually you're gonna have to try to make something happen, so that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm using the Tsunami Airwave Elite 9-foot rod today and a 5,000 size Quantum Merit reel. I'm also starting out with a diamond jig. It seems to be what's producing lately for people who are catching fish, especially since there's sand eels around. So we're gonna put a line in the water, try to make something happen, and see if we can get a bass on the board. So with these diamond jigs, you cast out, and you can really cast so far with these. That's why if the fish are far out, sometimes these are good to throw. But you can fish it a bunch of different ways. How I usually like to fish it, nice steady retrieve. Let it bounce along the bottom, and then just give it a quick little twitch every now and then. It's really easy, a very basic lure to throw. And really every fish likes to eat it, so hopefully a hungry striped bass wants to eat ours today. Somebody brought over this lobster, which I thought was dead, but it's actually alive. And I've been seeing a lot of people saying they're finding these little lobsters on the beach this season. Pretty interesting stuff. I believe last night into this morning, it was all west wind, so it really flattened out this surf quite a lot. Sometimes that brings the bait in though. We like a west wind. It's a pretty nice day out though. It's not really that cold and not a lot of wind. So I'll take it. Well, no bites, not seeing any fish, not really seeing much going on. But I'm gonna keep walking this beach. Who knows, maybe something will turn up. Boats that are way out here, they're kind of all in one spot. And I don't know if that means that they're marking fish or what, but they're pretty far out there. Before I call it quits at this spot, I wanna throw a couple more lures. So I'm gonna throw this 5-inch NLBN and see if anything wants it. One last shot, throw on my favorite topwater lure. We'll see if there's any fish around, and if not, I think it's time to leave. All right, time to go. I kind of feel like I killed too much time here, but it is what it is. I put in the work, and there were no fish around. So I'm gonna get back in the car and then see if we can find another spot. I walked up to the entrance of the beach and then looked down and I saw just a ton of boats out there. There's a huge fleet of boats, probably one of the biggest I've ever seen. So I'm gonna head down there just to see what all the commotion's about. If there's nothing around, then it is what it is. Maybe I'll cast a few lines, but it's kind of looking like it might be a tog day after all. So we'll put in our time and then make the game plan later. I was out there scoping it out and I did see some bait popping up, so we're gonna give it a shot. It's worth a try. I'm not too confident that we'll catch anything because no one seems to be out there, even on the boats, but you never know. You gotta get some lines out in the water and give it a shot. So let's do it.
gonna see what I can get to reach out there. But I'm gonna try this Tsunami popper and see if that draws any fish in. There's actually tons of sand eels in the wash right here. I don't know if it's gonna come out on camera, but I'm definitely gonna switch my presentation knowing that they're all just right in front of me right here. It's pretty crazy, actually. I took that as my cue to switch over to the Tsunami sand eel, a pretty spot-on imitation of the real thing. I mixed in a few different diamond jig colors too, since they're also perfect for matching those sand eels. Well, these boats keep shifting around out here, but really I'm not seeing anyone still catch any fish, so I'm just still tossing my lure. You never know what might happen, but I'll give it a little bit longer. I got the drone out to see what all the boats were on. There were a handful of large pods of bunkers, seemingly without fish on them. But it's really incredible to watch these schools from the air. I keep saying herring here, but to be more specific, this fish was a hickory shad, which is part of the herring family. I catch these pretty often on LBI and in the Manasquan Inlet. Oh shoot, no way. It doesn't feel like a bass though. That might be like a herring or something. Or it might even be a bunker, let's see. It's not fighting very hard. Oh yeah, I think that's a herring. It's a pretty big one too. Little Jersey tarpon. Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah, it's a big one. We got a pretty big herring right here. So I'm gonna put him back in. He does not want to stand still. Sometimes with those fish, when there's one, there's more. So let's try to see if we can get another one on the board. There's another one. Let's see if we can keep it on. Must have found a school of them. But they're fun because they jump out of the water. They give you a nice, good fight. Even though they're not the target species, I'll take a tight line. Yeah, this school of them is pretty big. All right, boom, there's number 2 right there. Let's send him back. I don't want to get greedy, but we'll see if we can catch one more. If not, I'll give maybe like 5 minutes. And I think it's time we finally head out. Oh, had another one right there. Popped off though. The skin around their mouth is like super fragile. So it's pretty easy to just rip a hook right out. And when they jump too, they spit that hook. But they hit hard, honestly. That was a hard hit. I've got some leaky waders and I'm feeling pretty hungry, so I'm taking that as a sign to call it a session right here. I'm glad I got on those 2 fish. That was a fun fight, but now it's time to switch it up and catch some tog. So I'm gonna grab some bait, grab some lunch, and then head out and start catching some blackfish. There's 2 different types of waders. There's boot foot and then there's stocking foot. And on the beach, I actually wear stocking foot waders, but one problem that I mainly have is that I'll get a lot of sand in the boots, especially if the gravel guards are rolling up and everything. And it really causes a lot of irritation, really difficult to walk around, and it's just super uncomfortable throughout your day. So basically what I did this year And this is just a little tip in case you're facing the same problem, is I got these diving boots and it made a world of a difference. They're actually a lot more comfortable. You just slip these over your stocking foot and no sand got in this boot today. So I'm actually really happy with this, and it'll definitely make this year's fall run a lot more comfortable.
One thing I love about the fall run outside of catching striper is getting to eat at some new and old places that I like. So today I went with a place that I know I enjoy, which is Joe Leone's, and I got a sandwich, which is really good. I'm chowing down on it right now, just finishing up. But in the comments, recommend me some of your favorite places to eat down the shore during the fall run. I'd love to try some new places. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up and then we're gonna get tautog fishing. So it's looking like the weather changed a little bit. It's definitely looking like it's gonna rain or something, and the wind shifted, so hopefully it doesn't affect the fishing too much. But I got a dozen crabs to see what we can make happen with. The problem is that now that the sun sets at like 4:30, we won't have much time, but we're gonna make the most of what we got. Like usual, we'll be fishing the jig this afternoon, and I'm actually going to be using a 1 ounce jig because this water's pretty choppy here. There's a lot of boats moving through and the current is pretty rough, so hopefully this 1 ounce holds. We'll see what happens. And I'm also using a light setup here. Got my 7-foot medium Quantum Merit rod with the 3000 benchmark reel. So let's get some baits out there and see if there's any tog around. As usual with these green crabs, we're going to cut the claws and then slice them right in half. And I'm just gonna take those appendages and slice them off too. And I'm gonna pick those up and throw them in the water for chum too, so that I get these fish activated. Let's get our first bait in the water here. Just tossing out right in front of me. And we're gonna see if anyone's home. Doesn't seem like a very active bite from looking at the people around me, but you never know. I can actually kind of tell that this 1 ounce jig might be a little too much, but I'm going to try to toss out in the current a little more, see if that helps stir up a bite. I didn't really get any bites in close here, but didn't really leave it there for too long, so I've yet to get a bite. I'm thinking that this 1 ounce is way overkill, so I'm actually going to switch down to like a ½ ounce, see if that holds all right, and we'll go from there. Switched over to the ½ ounce. Let's see how this thing holds up. All right, we're getting bites a little ways down from here. Let's try to get it right back in that spot. The bite is really slow though. Really not too confident in this spot right now. All right, there we go. So they're really in tight to this wall right here. I dropped it down like right next to it, and that's what got me this fish. Here we go, that's our first tog of the afternoon. Pretty small guy, but it's a fish, I'll take it. All right, see ya. All right, so right next to this wall seems to be the place where they're all hanging out. So let's drop in nice and close, get that down there, and see if we can land us another fish. Getting some nice bites here. It's a big piece of crab though, so it might take a little bit of time to chew it off. Oh, whiffed on him. That was a good bite that I totally whiffed on. It's taking these fish a long time to find the bait though and start biting. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that. If you've never tog fished before, this is why you bring a lot of bait, because they'll steal your bait left and right, and you'll go through your crabs like crazy if there's a good enough bite. I wouldn't say the bite is great right now. I wouldn't say it's actually even good. It's probably kind of on the bad side, but let's see. Hopefully we can get some fish on the board. I'm not gunning for a keeper, but I'll take anything we can get. I'm getting really good bites. I just feel like they're not committing fully. Oh, let's
There we go. Felt a lot bigger than he actually was. Probably about the same size as the last one, but I don't know. They're biting really hard, just infrequently. Look at the chompers on that guy. Here we go, another one on the board. And let's get him back and hopefully get some more fish. Man, this bite is so weird. It's honestly kind of frustrating, and I don't really want to be too squirrely about changing spots. I'd rather kind of build the bite here if I can. But man, it's a puzzle. It's hard to figure out right now. Oh shoot, there's a fish on. Whoa. I had no idea. It's like a little one too. How did I not notice that? All right, here we go. Another fish right there. He must have been on the whole time. I have no idea what's going on with that, but I don't know. He fought hard for being a little one. I keep adding layers because it's really starting to get cold out here, and it's really starting to feel like late fall. Oh. I'm wading through these little bites and just missing ones here and there. Can't seem to get another one. I have found where they're all hanging out though. They've kind of been in this little spot over here. I felt that tog steal the bait right off the hook. Frustrating. Some fish is down there just having a free buffet, and I just can't seem to get them on the hook. There we go. Finally got a fish. And it's another little tiny one that's just fighting really hard. Whoa. I don't know what it is with these tiny fish, but they're really feisty. They fight kind of harder than some of the bigger fish at times. But yeah, there's another one. Well, now that we're catching fish, kind of would like to have a bigger one on the board. But I can't wish for too much. I'm just glad to be catching any fish at all, really. It's another little tiny fish, but that one got snagged. So that's why it felt a lot bigger than it was. All right, let's get that one back in. I mean, that's one of the better ones today. It's not really saying too much, but it's a decent fish. Fun little fight on this guy. We're nowhere near keeper size, but still had a good time catching him and let him go. The bite's definitely better than it was before, and it's starting to pick up a little bit, but it's still all these kind of like small fish. But honestly, I don't really care right now. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time out here. It's a nice night despite how cold it is, but just some no pressure fishing and a relaxing way to end the day. That bite just woke me up. Hopefully there's still crab on there and it comes back. I think he definitely took that thing. What the heck? Took the bait and then it was just covered in weeds, making me think that there was a fish on there. It was definitely a hardy bite though. I'm gonna try to get back in that same spot, see if we can catch whatever the fish that was. I've only got about 4 more crabs in there, so we'll see how many fish we can catch on these. Oh, whoa. I was caught in that tree over there. All right, about the same size fish as we've been getting. Definitely feels like there's a bigger one down there taking the baits, but who knows? Could just be these little guys. All right, little guy. Thanks for playing. Ooh, this feels like a good fish. This has got to be a good fish. No, man. Just a hard fighter. No bigger than the other ones. You guys are tricky. This is our biggest fish of the day. It's really kind of small, maybe 10 to 12 inches if I were to guess. But I don't know, fish is a fish. And he fought really hard too. So, you know, we'll take it. That fish pretty much just ate what was on this hook right here. It was just like scraps of another crab. So goes to show you that these fish will clean your hook. Hey man, another one that's fighting hard, but it's probably pretty small. Yeah. Again, that same size. I mean, it's getting a little bigger than the last few for sure. So it's a good sign. We really did build that bite today. Nice female right there. She's gonna go back. It's really starting to get dark out. I hate how dark it gets so early this time of year. But we're gonna stay out here until we finish those crabs. It's crazy how quickly that bite shuts off right as soon as the sun goes down. But anyway, seems like no more fish are gonna bite tonight, and I'm all out of bait. So with that, I think it's time to go home. I wouldn't say I met all my goals today, but I'm pretty happy with the fact that I ended up catching some kind of fish. I caught one different species that I didn't expect to catch, and then we caught some tog this afternoon. So overall, I had a fun day, and that's really all that counts in the end. So with that said, I'm gonna pack up and I'm gonna head home. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I got a few more days to fish coming up, so I'm really excited to get out there and hopefully get some more fall run content. But as always, I appreciate you watching. Thank you for all your support, and I'll catch you on the next one.